Hello, hello. I am recording this. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, and it is icy and snowy right now. It's just crazy. It's like we're supposed to get so much snow today. I'm recording this in January of 2024, so it's the winter time. Yeah, we're all kind of stuck inside. So trying to stay warm. There's a crazy like Midwest storm right now. Anyways, enough about the weather. Don't know why I went into that. This is Hayley Sohn. I'm a nutritionist. I'm a brain training weight loss coach. You are listening to Weight Loss Without Dieting podcast. And today we're going to talk about 3 reasons to choose brain training for weight loss over a diet. And I feel like this is a really hot topic right now because it's January. A lot of my clients are talking about how their friends or their sisters or whatever are starting their, January New Year's weight loss protocol and they're doing all of these diets. And my clients are like, it's so amazing that we're not doing that. We're just living our lives and focusing on our brains to lose weight. So I kind of wanted to go over like the difference and 3 reasons why brain training can is just like so much better. I was going to say something really sophisticated and I was like, nope, we're just going to go with it's better. Um okay, so diving right in. Reason number 1, fast results. And I this goes for both dieting and brain training. I think that we choose the diet. We think like, all right, I'm going to go on this bone broth diet. That's one that one of my clients I think her friend is doing the bone broth diet. And she's like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in a month. We think, all right, I'm going to do this bone broth diet. I'm only going to have bone broth for 30 days and I'm going to lose all this weight. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so fast. And, you know, then I'm going to be done. And what I want to offer is that you can get, and okay, versus thinking like, well, I'm going to focus on my mindset for 30 days. It's like, what is that going to get me? Is that going to get me any weight loss? Where will I be at the end of 30 days focusing on mindset? How do I even focus on my mindset? Like, what does that even mean? And I get it. Like, when we think about mindset, it feels very intangible. What will I be doing? Now, if you decide to come work with me, we have a process that you go through. This isn't like, pull out a blank notepad and just start thinking about your thoughts and your relationship with food. And I want to dive into like, when you were 5 and your mom was on a diet and she wasn't eating sugar or fat or like, no, none of that. Like, that's not helpful at all. We actually take you through a proven process that works, that moves your brain from where it is in its relationship with food right now to this other place where food isn't an issue for you. So that's like way different than just, yeah, that blank notepad. But we think like this diet's going to get me these really quick results. And everyone who comes to work with me, I'm like, don't be surprised if that first week you lose 5 pounds. And they're always shocked because they're like, it felt like I didn't really do anything. Like, I didn't really change that much. I wasn't dieting, I wasn't cutting out foods. I was just living my life thinking about food in a different way. And I lost all this weight. And isn't that amazing? If weight loss can look like either A, obsessing over food, willpowering your way through a week of trying to only drink bone broth and not have the cookies that you really want to have, or it can look like I didn't change anything about my diet. I had ease and effortless and calm around food, and I lost weight and I lost same 5 pounds. Why wouldn't we choose that option B, where it's just really easy and effortless and clean and we feel so calm? Why wouldn't we choose that? And the results are the same. We lose 5 pounds in both scenarios. And I'll say that 5 pounds with the mindset, it's not coming back. But as soon as you stop drinking bone broth, that 5 pounds is coming back. soon as you go back to food and you've been deprived of food for a week and your brain has just been talking to you about eating the cookies for an entire week, you are going to go crazy on those cookies when you're done with the bone broth. You're going to eat all the cookies and everything else in your house, and you're going to gain all that weight back and then some. So why not do the mindset where that 5 pounds isn't coming back? You are a different person at the end of that first week. And that 5 pounds, it's never coming back. That is insane. So those fast results that we think we can only get with a diet, it's just not true. There is another way that feels amazing, feels so much better. Okay. Number two, long-term results. I think with the crash diet or with any type of diet, we kind of fool ourselves into thinking like, well, I'm gonna, follow this diet, and by the end of it, that'll just be what I want to do. Like I'll have changed. It'll be easy at the end of it, and it really isn't, because with a diet, we only are focusing on our actions. We aren't focusing on what the precursor to those actions is, which is our thoughts, which create our emotions. And from our emotions, we take action. So if we're dieting, really what we're doing is we're telling ourselves, I have to follow this diet, which usually creates a lot of stress, a lot of willpower, and a lot of pressure. And that's how we create this action of following the diet, eating only this list of foods. And if you think about pressure and willpower, like that doesn't feel good. And at the same time, you have this other part of your brain, which is used to getting cookies at night, using food to manage emotions. And so that part of your brain is going to be like, hey, what happened to our crutch, our food crutch? We need that. It's still going to be chatting to you about the food all of the time. So you are over here following this list of foods. And then on the other side, you've got this other part of your brain that's talking to you about food all the time and reminding you that this is how we deal with our emotions and we need food to deal with our emotions. And it feels terrible. And as soon as you aren't following that list of foods, your brain is right where it was when you started. Nothing has changed. You have no long-term results. You aren't able to sustain that weight loss unless you're following that diet. But following that diet feels terrible and you just can't keep it up. So what happens is you follow the diet for a time, maybe a month, maybe a year. You do lose some weight, but you can't keep it up. You can't do that forever. You want to live your life. And your brain is like, God, give me a cookie, please. And so you do. You eat all of the things, all of the weight comes back. There is no long-term result. You can't follow that diet forever and you don't want to. And so there is no long-term weight loss result. You just go right back to where you were. But with brain training, the goal is for you to be done with your weight struggle, for you to have a different relationship with food on the other side. And so at the end of a month or a year, you are down probably the same amount of weight as you were with the diet, probably more, and it's probably feels a lot better. You're not with this push and pull, you're just aligned going in one direction. You have this, your brain is just in a different place at the end of brain training, after a month or after a year or after 6 months. Your brain is not telling you that it needs cookies to solve your emotions, to solve stress, to deal with your day. It's not talking to you about food all the time. It's very quiet. You are calm and confident around food. There is no restaurant, vacation, or buffet that you walk into that you're freaking out because you want to eat all of the things and your brain's yelling at you to eat all of the things. You walk into any of those situations And you're like, I got this. I know exactly what to do. I know how to handle this. This isn't a problem. I love pasta. I'm going to eat pasta. And it's not a big deal. I'm not freaking out about it. I'm not thinking I can't have the pasta and then ordering the pasta and eating all of the pasta. I'm wanting to order the pasta. I'm choosing to order the pasta. I'm having a couple bites. It's amazing and I'm done. I get to move on with my life. That is a long-term result where you get yourself to this place where you're just done. So one of my clients just quit. She was like, I'm done. I fixed my relationship with food. I lost 50 pounds. I'm in a new place. Food isn't a problem for me. This weight is never coming back. I'm moving on. I'm finding the next challenge in my life. I'm done. I'll see you later. I was like, good for you. And that's what I want for all of my clients. I want all of them to quit, to get themselves to this other place, and then they get to walk away. They're just done. They're a different person. They have a different relationship with food. On to the next challenge. So you really create these long-term results where that weight is never coming back. And then number 3 is freedom around food. Really finding this free, effortless relationship with food where let's like walk through the scenario. Okay, there's a buffet of all of your favorite foods. If you're on a diet, how does it feel to stand in front of that buffet of all your favorite foods, like the most craveable, delicious, cheesy, gluteny, sugary, sweet, salty foods that you just love? If you're on a diet and you're standing in front of that buffet, it feels awful. You simultaneously cannot eat any of those foods, but you want to eat them more than anything. And you're just standing there using every single ounce of your willpower to not eat those foods. With brain training, you get your brain to this place where, yes, those foods are delicious and you truly enjoy eating them, but they don't solve any problems for you. You are able to stand in front of that with all of the control and freedom and ease in the world. It doesn't matter what the food is. You can stand in front of it and have confidence that you don't need to eat it. You get to eat it if you choose to. And so you might make yourself a plate with this and that and what sounds good and feels good for you at that moment. It's probably not everything, and it's probably not the entire dish of whatever's there. It's not the entire plate of cookies. It's like a couple bites of a cookie. That was really good. Moving on. I'm not obsessing over it. I'm not overeating it. I'm not beating myself up for having it. I'm eating it. I'm enjoying it. I'm moving on with my life. That's the difference between dieting and brain training, is this freedom, this effortless that you get to create around any food, all of the foods. It's a completely different relationship with food. You're free. So one of my clients, she lost a lot of weight really quickly. And her partner, who's with her all the time, was like, yeah, but how are you actually doing this? Because I don't really see you doing anything. She's like, you're not dieting. We're still eating all of the meals out at restaurants. You love to bake. You're still baking and you're still eating some of the baked goods. Like, what is going on? How are you losing this weight? And she was like, I'm just focusing on my brain. That's how I'm losing the weight. Just imagine if you're losing so much weight, but you're like outwardly to the outward world, it looks like you're not doing anything, to where your partner who lives with you is like, what are you doing? Because it feels so effortless. It looks so just like you're not doing anything. Imagine that. Imagine losing weight from that place and how amazing that feels. That is the difference. And that's how it can be. If it can be like that, why wouldn't you choose that? Okay, so those are the three kind of the three big differences, like why we think we're choosing the diet, why we're going after that because of the results we think it's going to create for us, and what we can actually create and get from brain training. It, it doesn't have to be this kind of like meditate. Like one of my clients, she signed up for the program and we had talked about, she had asked me some questions about it beforehand, which you are always free to do. Um, Go follow me on Instagram, Hayley, Hayley underscore Sohn, Sohn, and DM me if you have questions. But she had asked me some questions about the program and she signed up and she started and she was like, I thought we'd be like meditating and stuff, like kind of these intangible things. And I was like, no, this is like a proven, this is like a program, like with a process and a workbook and worksheets that you take yourself through. This isn't just some intangible like BS where I'm going to tell you to go sit on the couch and think about your thoughts in a quiet space. Like you can do that, and meditation is amazing, 100%. But this is like real stuff that we're working on. So just because it feels a little bit different doesn't mean that it doesn't create those real fast results for you. And you don't have to cut anything out if you don't want to. You can just be like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know how I lost that weight. I feel like I didn't really change that much. How about that for weight loss? That is like what it can be and what it should be and what I want for you. Okay. That's what I got for you today. This is a quick one. I will see you next week. Bye.